My vacation is coming to a close, so I figured I would get back to making some screencasts here. So next up on the list, not in this one, this is kind of a prep, going to set up CentOS, kind of graphical workstation style. Because the next one, we're going to look at putting open windows onto a Red Hat environment. Don't have actual Red Hat. We'll use CentOS. It is largely the same. And so let's get this VM set up. Hopefully this will be relatively quick video. And then the follow-on will be the open windows. Give it a name. Now I'm hoping in the new year that AMD finally gets around to releasing those Zen processors that have been promised, because I need to have a new machine, something a little bit faster than this, which is currently an 8350. And could use something a little bit quicker. Let me put this on the bridge network and switch to VirtIO since we can. And we'll be doing CentOS 7 here. I may give some commentary on it. I don't know how in-depth I'll go. Previous video we looked pretty in-depth at Scientific Linux 7, which is roughly the same. Again, Red Hat enterprise based, so there are differences. Don't know how important those differences are for most general purpose. Now I'm a user of CentOS quite extensively professionally. A lot of the Linux installs I see at the company I work for are CentOS or Red Hat Enterprise, but not my first choice for what I do personally. Let's get it installed. This is where I need a faster CPU. I mean, I guess my other option would be the Intel stuff, get an i7 or a Xeon, which are as fast as the Zen are going to be. But yeah, I do want to see some performance figures before I take the leap into buying that. But kind of my plan is to get a new kind of storage server set up. What I have right now is kind of light on disk, and I'm having need for more storage. I also want to be able to do, again, provide iSCSI, NFS, and Fiber Channel all off one host. So it's kind of my plan. Let me set up the date and time, and we'll pick what software we want. We want a development and creative workstation. That's what we're going to do. We get additional development, compatibility, DevTools, Emacs. I'm just kind of randomly picking packages here. Really, all I think we need, because Yum will pick everything else up auto-magically, is just putting these things on there but we probably do want legacy X-Win disk compatibility. Just to pull these off the disk, maybe a little faster in the network. Perl for web. Well, that's cool they provide that. NFS client. Let's see. FTP server might be handy. Give it a name and an IP. And I have to say, over time, I've become less and less frustrated with the Red Hat installer. You get used to it, and it takes some time. They do have a text mode installer, of course. Again, I'm partial. Really, probably my favorite out of all of these is OpenBSD. You can just fly through there on new install. Slackware, probably because I've done it a number of times, and all the way back to soft landing SLS way back in the early 90s. One and three. Turn that on. And I don't like that they don't have the mouse capture by default. That seems like that's something that could have been fixed. We'll take the default partitioning, which should be Logical Volume Manager, and XFS, which I'm fine with. Way to go using XFS. I like that. And I'm going to pause right here as this rolls along a bit, and I'll take a few minutes. I'll come back, we'll finish up, get the guest editions installed, and take a look at the desktop, which should be some sort of GNOME thing. I guess I could have installed KDE. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to go have some coffee, and I'll be right back. And I'm back. Sufficient time has passed for all the file copying to be done. I'm recaffeinated, so I guess we will continue. Let's hit the reboot button here, and hopefully it will eject, or virtually eject, my virtual CD. I do like how VirtualBox, that was like 4 virtuals in a sentence, or a paragraph I should say, how VirtualBox had a season's tidings message there. And I guess we are about 12 hours out from 2017, which is pretty cool. So CentOS booting up. One of the things I've been playing around with a little bit is SmartOS. It's part of the Illumos set of operating systems. So Illumos kernel, some other stuff. This is annoying. License. They just want to know that it's GPL and it doesn't have a warranty. Not that exciting. SmartOS. So unfortunately the only machine I have, PC style machine, the bare metal, is, it's a crusty old laptop. I think it's an i3 or an i5. I just dug it out. So I'm going to try to get SmartOS up on there on bare metal, because you can do some cool stuff with SmartOS. So KVM virtualization, and zones, Solaris zones, but you can also, I think, do Linux zones, so kind of like a foreign zone Linux, so we run CentOS there. So maybe take a look at that a little bit later. So as usual, if you've seen my previous videos, we are doing bitmapped VirtualBox over X. So if it seems a little slow, that's why. I probably should do VNC. I don't know. I'm so in the habit of using the VirtualBox at work, and you cannot use the extensions in a commercial setting. So it's, you have to pay for them there. Okay, I guess that's handy. So let's get the guest editions in place, and that's kind of where we'll end it. It's GNOME. The one thing I really like about GNOME is the GNOME terminal, and to be able to increase font size naturally makes sense to me. I still most of the time run console the K or just a normal X term. Let's see. I'm going to need to drop my guest edition CD in there. And I don't want to auto run it. That they even, and that's like kind of, I guess that's a Windowsism they brought over. I really don't like the auto running of stuff, and really explicitly say what you want to do. Put it in run media. So get the guest editions installed, and hopefully that should let us resize the desktop and get a good look. So as I said, this is kind of part one. You know, going through the motions here, pretty straightforward. If you want more details about my thoughts about Red Hat, the installer, etc., previous video for Scientific Linux. Did I do 6 or 7? I'll put a link in the description if I remember to. But this is really just getting a kind of windowed CentOS environment set up, because the next one we're going to put OpenLook, or Open Windows on it. Well, let's just check that this worked. Really annoying. I don't know, maybe that's just because I like lightweight window managers. But this just seems annoying. Okay, so guest editions are working. And the mouse is capturing correctly. So I think we are good. Let's see, what do we want to take a look at? We did that install. So we got Firefox. Let's take a look. Evolution. Take a look quick at what apps we get here. Emacs? What other editors we have? Let me pull up a terminal here. Yeah, annoying menu. Sure it's Vim, and yes it is Vim. Let's just see if we can add Elvis from the native repository. No Elvis. Do we get Jed? No Jed or Elvis. At least we have Emacs. So just Firefox, get LibreOffice. Did we put OpenJDK on there? Okay, so pretty slim install. Let's see what we've used here. And we used about 6 gig, so not too bad. Slim install. I'm going to end this right now, and I probably have a snack and then continue on with OpenLook. So hopefully it will look very similar to this when we come back.